In the first impressions video, I shared with you 5 tools that you can use to captivate any audience. Similes, analogies, metaphors, examples, and stories. And I'm always adding more material to my workshops as I travel around and learn new tools and figure out better ways to help people be more effective. And now I have 3 more for you. The A stands for adjectives. And you know that adjectives are words that you use to describe people, places, and things. And this tool can help you, especially when someone asks you, what do you do for your company? And in most cases, people use really boring answers, like they say, I'm the VP of Marketing, I'm the CEO. What if you're in a room full of CEOs? It won't be memorable. I suggest that you find some adjectives that help describe the kind of person you are. And if you want a quick way to get some of those words, just ask the people you work with. If you had to describe me in 1, 2, or 3 words, what would you say? And then take some of those words and see which one might work to help people get a better sense for who you are. Here are 2 examples. A while back, I was introduced by someone, and he said, I want to introduce you to Nathan Gold. He's a black belt pitch coach. The word black belt brings up a whole lot of pictures and images and great connotations that I thought, wow, that's pretty interesting. But you have to be careful of this. If I use this out in public with people who don't understand the entrepreneurial world, they might get really confused about how I do karate and throw a ball at the same time. So you have to be careful of what you say and the audience that you're working with. The best line I have ever heard, and I wish I could say I came up with it, but I didn't, came from an entrepreneur when I asked him what does he do for his company. He said, I am an entrepreneur with the soul of a dancer. And it turns out he was a professional dancer, and he blew out his knees, and he can't dance anymore. But he wanted to stay in the profession. So he invented a special type of clothing that wicks away the perspiration from your body so you don't drown on stage. So when he tells people, I'm an entrepreneur with the soul of a dancer, that's unforgettable. The next tool is M. The M stands for magic. This is one of the more interesting and exciting tools that you can use with audiences, except with investors. I recommend you probably should stay away from this with investors because they might not really have the patience for it. But here's how it works. Let's say I just did a presentation and the theme of the presentation was that we will take care of all the details so that you can take care of your business. So make believe I'm working for Acme Software. I've just presented Acme Software as a solution. And now I want to leave the audience with one final experience so they never forget me ever again. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your time today. I really appreciate you listening to us and hearing what we can do for you. I'd like to leave you with one final exercise, one final example of what it will be like if you choose to use Acme Software versus to not use it. Are you willing? Great. Would all of you please take your left hand and put it out straight in front of you, just like I'm doing right now, with your palm facing down. Go ahead and do this right now. Now take your right hand and go all the way around and clasp your hands tightly like this. And then just hold it for a second, because what I'm going to ask you to do on the count of 3, well, we're going to do the same thing. You ready? Here we go. On the count of 3, I want all of you to do exactly what I do. Ready? 1, 2, 3. That doesn't work for you, does it? Let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 3. But you're all twisted up right now if it worked. And the reason you're twisted up is because you missed a little detail. Let's go through it again. Left hand out, palm facing down. Right hand, reach all the way around, clasp your hands. Now, if I said 1, 2, 3, go, I can't get out of this either, no matter how hard I try. But what I did is I dropped my hands for a moment, and I said, okay, that's great. Now, what direction is the palm of my hand? It's not down, it's up. That little detail allows me to go like this all day long. And so with Acme Software, you will never miss a detail like that ever again. We take care of all the details so that you can do your business. It's actually a real formal magic trick that professional magicians use in Las Vegas and around the world to warm up their audiences. For this particular case, it has very close meaning to the software that we're selling. So it works. If you'd like to see another example of a magic trick done with water, check out the top mistakes video. And now for the final tool, the E, the enthusiasm. This is one of those tools that for some reason entrepreneurs tend to leave it at home or they leave it in the car and they don't bring it out. Let your enthusiasm be a major part of your talk, of your answers. If you don't, then you leave it up to them to get enthusiastic about your product, your service, or your business opportunity, and that typically doesn't happen. I recommend that you spend time transferring your enthusiasm to the audience. How do you do that? The easiest way to do it is with your voice. Just like I'm doing with you on this video. This is not the voice I typically use at home. If it was, I'd probably end up sleeping in the backyard. But when I'm presenting, when I'm trying to get people like you excited about a topic, like communications, if I don't share my enthusiasm and transfer my enthusiasm for the topic to you, I have failed. So I often hear the excuse from people, I don't want to be too enthusiastic. Well, don't worry about it. In all the years I've been coaching people, I've only met one person who I actually had to say, hey, calm down a little bit. You're just too enthusiastic. You need to bump your enthusiasm up by 10, 20, or even 30%. Investors really look for entrepreneurs that show enthusiasm and passion for what they're doing. Without that enthusiasm, you're not going to get the attraction of investors like you want. Let them see it. Let them hear it from you as you present and answer questions. And actually, it turns out that investors will pick certain people based on how enthusiastic they are. So don't hold back. Let that enthusiasm come out. It's especially important for investors.